what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse. Back in the dark days of 2021, one movie made us forget all of our troubles, if only for a brief moment, by giving us an action hero nobody asked for, but everybody needed in Bob Odenkirk. That's right, he went from playing Saul Goodman in two of the best TV dramas ever to headlining one of the best John Wick knockoffs with Nobody. It killed at the box office, the fans wanted more, and now we're getting the cleverly titled sequel, Nobody 2. Which brings Odenkirk's character Hutch Mansell back in action as a full-time government assassin, struggling to balance his daily career with his family life. Hoping to reconnect, he takes his family on a nostalgic vacation to a small-town theme park, only to face hostility from corrupt locals, including Sheriff Abel, played by Colin Hanks, and park owner Wyatt, played by John Ortiz. When the town's crime boss Lendina, played by Sharon Stone, gets involved and targets his family, Hutch must unleash his lethal skills to protect them and put an end to her brutal reign. What I love about the first Nobody was watching Bob Odenkirk totally flip the script and playing against type. The whole Saul Goodman turned action star thing, not quite Keanu level, but damn close, and he straight up crushed it. And he's still believable this second time around too. In case you didn't know this, a big reason why the John Wick and Nobody movies hit with the same flavor is because Derek Kolstad, the dude who built the John Wick universe and wrote the first 3 Wick movies, also wrote these. So yeah, you're getting those same vibes here. When it comes to this sequel, it leans way more 50-50 action comedy, maybe even tilting more towards comedy. Fans of the first movie will spot some callbacks. The opening's almost the same, Hutch in a room being grilled by cops, but this time instead of petting a cat, he's got a dog sitting next to him. And yeah, the fallout from everything with the Russians, that still lingers, and he's got to face the consequences here. And Hutch's family itself is more part of the mix and less on the sidelines like the first one. I mean, they kind of have to, being that they're all on this vacation together. The big kickoff moment in the movie comes when something happens to Hutch's daughter at the arcade. Hutch's son gets bullied, causing a kerfuffle. The arcade owner, trying to kick them out, smacks her on the back of the head, and Hutch's dad mode instantly flips into kill mode. That one little spark sets off the downward spiral for the rest of the movie. And it's pretty damn funny watching him trying to keep his cool, not let his inner violent rage take over and fail miserably. You see him boiling over, and when he finally snaps, the ass kicking that follows it is extremely satisfying.
How's that feel?
That, of course, leads to him dealing with the corrupt sheriff of the town, played by Colin Hanks, rocking a next-level redhead haircut, the shady park owner, played by John Ortiz, and finally the ultimate villain of the piece, Lendina, played by Sharon Stone, who clearly relishes hamming it up as an over-the-top sadistic baddie. Do we get a backstory on why she's like this? Nope. Do we need one? Absolutely not. Hutch was ready to walk away, but of course these clowns couldn't leave it alone, and if you poke the bear, especially if you threaten his family, you already know what's coming. Hutch is gonna fuck shit up. And that's the joy of these movies. The side characters get a bit more to do this time around. Hutch's wife, played by the beautiful Connie Nielsen, who even when they try to dress her down, still looks like $1,000,000, as more than just the supporting wife role this time. She actually gets her hands dirty. Same with the legend that is Christopher Lloyd, who played his dad in the first movie and tags along here on their trip. And the RZA, the Wu-Tang Clan's Habit, who plays Hutch's adopted brother. Even gets a great samurai showdown scene with one of Lendina's henchmen. Knowing his pure love of kung fu movies, you can tell he must have had a blast shooting that scene. I'm going to talk about Timo Tjahjanto in his studio directorial debut. He quickly became one of my favorite action directors of the last decade after 2018's The Night Comes for Us and last year's The Shadow Strays, both streaming on Netflix, by the way. Do yourself a favor and make it a double feature movie night. He brings his kinetic style here with inventive action sequences, smart camera placements, and a tightly choreographed fight laced with dark humor. Since it is a studio movie and somewhat family-oriented, he definitely reined himself in and toned down the gorier aspects, but you still get enough to keep the action visceral without going overboard. There's 2 standout set pieces, the duck boat scene, a clear nod to the bus scene in the first one, and the final showdown at the theme park. Obviously, you know that's where it was heading, but it plays out like Kevin McAllister's wet dream, crazy traps set everywhere for the bad guys to fall into. Of course, I found myself asking, when did Hutch have time to A, plan all of this, and B, set it all up? But that's when you shut off your brain and enjoy the bloody ride. So would I recommend Nobody 2? I certainly would. While I enjoyed the first Nobody movie more, I think this is the best sequel we could have hoped for with this kind of film. Turning it into a Chevy Chase-style vacation movie and dropping them into a totally different environment, especially for an action movie like this, made it fun, and it opened up the door for some good comedy while still keeping the brutal fights and crazy action people came for. The plot was just okay, you knew the beats from the jump and exactly where it was headed. Some of the comedy landed, some didn't. I was satisfied with all the action we got. The fact that the whole family got involved was a nice addition to the story itself, but if they do end up making Nobody 3, which I can't see not happening, I'd say maybe don't involve them as much next time. And of course, Bob Odenkirk anchors the whole thing with great aplomb, blending everyman vulnerability with sheer action hero ferocity. And I still say at some point they should get all these three men together to create the ultimate dad movie. So yeah, that was my take on Nobody 2. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. It helps me get more visibility out there. Subscribe if you haven't already. That helps too. Have you seen Nobody 2? Planning to? If so, let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao bye for now.